WiseGuyBets here. Today's date is 8/26/2021. So it's Thursday. We're looking at the DraftKings main slate. There's 9 games on the slate tonight, and let's get it right into it with the pitch position. But before I get started, the picks I give you can be used in GPP tournament games or tiers game format. I don't recommend my picks for cash. I use a different strategy in cash that works out pretty well for me, but these picks are definitely for GPP and tiers tournament format. So let's get right into let's look at the pitcher position. At pitcher, I'm going with a little value tonight. Choosing Brad Keller for Kansas City. His projection on tonight is 8.6. He has a 5.43 ERA. He's pitching around 5.2 innings per game. He's averaging 11 fantasy points over 25 games. He's been hot lately. His last 3 has been 4, 20, 28. I think we can see above 10, 15, 20. I think around 15 we can see for Mr. Keller tonight. His last 5 overall has been 18, 3, 4, 20, and 28. And his last 5 against Seattle has been 0, 0, 3, 21, -2. Not sure about that -2 game, which is the last game. Have to research and see exactly what went on. But he's the 3rd highest rated pitcher according to Draft Dashboard on the slate tonight. And we're going to go with Mr. Keller tonight at the pitcher position. Let's look at the catcher position. At catcher, I'm looking at Sean Murphy for Oakland. His projection on night is 9.1 fantasy points. He has 14 homers on the season. He's batting .224. He's getting around 3.3 at-bats per game. He's averaging 6 fantasy points over 101 games. His last 3 games, fantasy point-wise, been 0, 0, and 5. He's 3,600 on DraftKings. 0 for 1 against the pitcher he's facing. His last 5 overall has been 18, 8, 0, 0, and 5. And his last 5 against the Yankees has been 0, 0, 7, 2, 2. Don't like much what I see at the pitcher position tonight, but I think Mr. Murphy's in a position in home to make a little noise. The game total is 8.5. He gets his at-bats usually, so I think he can make a little noise against the New York pitcher tonight. Let's look at the first base position. At first base, I'm looking at Matt Olsen for Oakland, another player from this Oakland-New York game. His projection tonight is 10. He has 32 homers on the season. He's batting .278. He's getting around 3.6 at-bats per game. Over 121 games, he has 9 fantasy points. He's averaging 9 fantasy points. His last 3 games has been 3, 22, and 3. He's 5,100 on DraftKings. 1 for 2 against the pitcher he's facing with 1 home run. So his limited sample size, out of his 2 at-bats, he has 1 home run against the pitcher he's facing. His last 5 against New York has been 28, 14, 14, 18, 17. He's been hot against New York. I like that. And Mr. Olsen is someone I want to try to get into my lineup tonight at the first base position. Let's look at the second base position. At second base, I'm looking at Hernandez for Boston. His projection on that is 8.1 fantasy points. He has 17 homers on the season. He's batting .258. He's getting around 3.7 at-bats per game. He's averaging 8 fantasy points over 111 games. His last 3 has been 6, 21, 24. He's 4,700 on DraftKings. He's 1 for 2 against the pitcher he's facing, 1 double. He's batting lead off in a game that is suspected to have around 10 runs scored. His last 5 against Minnesota is 0, 0, 3, 21, 24. His last 5 overall is 14, 5, 6, 21, 24. He's been hot lately. I like his recent, form. He's had great success against Minnesota, and limited sample size. He's had success against the pitcher. So, Hernandez is someone I'm looking to get into my lineups tonight at the second base position. Let's look at third base. At third base, I'm looking at Josh Donaldson for Minnesota, another player from this Minnesota-Boston game. His projection on that is 8.2 fantasy points. He has 19 homers on the season. He's batting .250. He's getting around 3.4 at-bats per game. He's averaging 7 fantasy points over 99 games. His last 3 has been 0, 21, 21. He's 3,300 on DraftKings. I really like that salary. Against the pitcher he's facing tonight, which is Chris Sale for Boston, he is 10 for 33. He's batting .303, 5 singles, 5 home runs. So he has obvious success against the pitcher he's facing tonight. His last 5 against Boston has been 10, 0, 7, 21, 21. So we're going to ride Mr. Donaldson out. He had a good night last night. He was one of my picks last night, came through. I'm picking him again tonight. So Josh Donaldson is someone I want to get into my lineups tonight at the third base position. Let's look at the shortstop position. At shortstop, I'm going with another player I selected last night, Fernando Tatis Jr. As I pointed out yesterday, San Diego needs wins. And they will get wins when he played well. He played well last night. He needs to play well again tonight because they need wins. Tatis Jr. projection on night is 9.7 fantasy points. He has 34 homers on the season. He's batting .287. He's getting around 3.6 at-bats per game. Last night he got 7 at-bats, so you can see what kind of game that was. Hopefully tonight he can get 4 to 5 at-bats. He's 6,500, so he's very expensive. His last 5 against the Dodgers are 21, 0, 7, 7, and 16. His last 5 overall is 6, 4, 5, 7, and 16. So I'm going with Mr. Tatis Jr. again tonight. Again, for San Diego to win, he has to play well. So I'm counting on him playing well. Let's look at the outfield. In the outfield, I'm looking at Bryce Harper for Philadelphia. His projection on night is 9.5 fantasy points. He has 24 homers on the season. He's batting .293. He's getting around 3.5 at-bats per game. He's averaging 10 fantasy points over 105 games. His last 3 has been 4, 3, and 21. 6,400 on DraftKings. Bryce Harper is pretty much Mr. Steady. Has not played well against Arizona in his last 2 meetings against them, but I think that can change tonight. They are at home. I just like Mr. Harper when he has a advantage over the pitcher. Draft Dashboard says he has a 7% advantage over the pitcher. I expect numbers probably around 10 to 15 out of Mr. Harper tonight, and that's enough to get him into my lineup. So those are my picks for today. If my picks help you, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so you know when new videos are posted. Hope you learned something from this video. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next video.